Okay. I think some people um, achieve feats of um,
Well, if
um,
if you're having trouble with that word, try to use the another one that sounds exactly the same, which is feet, the plural of your foot.
okay, okay.
So we
Mm,
have try to make a sentence with both feet and fit.
okay. I think some people's feet uh, are
Just
so
feet.
big that
Feet
is a
was
fit.
feet is already the plural.
Um, oh, I think some people's feet are a feet because they are so big. I don't
How
know.
about I give you the sentence? My feet don't fit, so I'm having a fit.
Oh, my feet don't fit, so I'm having a fit. Fit or fit?
The last two are fit.
Okay. Oh, okay, okay, okay.
But
My
you're
feet
doing
don't
well.
fit, so I'm having a fit.
Very good. See, that's usually the difference. You are emphasizing the long vowel, and that makes it stronger when you pronounce it. You say, "I my feet don't fit, so I'm having a fit."
Okay.
Would be an example.
But I don't know. I think I sometimes have trouble with the, for example, the like for example, in like the big open ones, like where you put your tongue to the back, um, or um,
Could
like
you write
long
the word for me,
O's,
please?
long use. And I used to have trouble with this one, but I'm not sure if it has improved. Like woo,
Which one?
woo, a W, like woo, woo.
Oh, no, but you're
Um,
saying it right.
okay,
Woo.
but I cannot like put it on a word. Sometimes it's complicated, like
Like
word,
wood?
but sometimes it
This one?
works and it's weird. Wood.
Good.
So and
It
that's like
is it's close to good, but with the G, with a G. Good, good. I would like, I would like. Maybe he want to say.
I mean, phonetically, try to look at my mouth. It's not the same saying, for instance, would as saying would. That's usually what you do to differentiate just a U from a WU or a WU phoneme, because would is WOU, but it's not as difficult as it sounds. For instance, wound me.
Do you have a channel or something like that? Because we need to learn like child, like him,
I don't
how
have a
to
channel.
move the mouth and
There are several
the tongue.
YouTube videos. I can share you. I can share
Hello, guys.
to you. Hello, George.
Hey, Joy. I'm sorry. I was in a big struggle with my microphone. Something happened.
No
It didn't
problem.
allow me to speak. Yeah. I just heard that you were talking about the word fit, right? Fit.
Hmm.
Yeah, it is a word very useful. I guess, for example, when you are trying to wear a simple shirt, t-shirt, you can say, "Oh, it doesn't fit me," or I can say, "I'm feeling like I do not fit in this group. Could you take me out, please, to a different group?" Like that is what
Well,
is coming to my mind.
there's a less there's a less known use for the word fit, which is throwing a tantrum. I'm having a fit, throwing a tantrum. I'm just so upset. I'm behaving like a 5-year-old at a mall when denied
Yeah.
some sweet or ice cream or whatever. Also fit, yeah. David is feeling very fit these days. Actually, thanks, David. You just helped me with a very important difference that most Spanish speakers are having a lot of trouble with. This and these. Have you heard have you heard those? I suppose you have.
Before I haven't noticed the difference, but now
There
I
is a
think
difference.
the second is the sound is
The second
this.
one is the long one.
Yeah, this I can say it any
Because you have
repeat it.
like, okay, when exactly? When is this a problem? For instance, when you have plurals that are equal to the singular versions. For instance, fish. Fish is the plural of fish. So are you pointing to one fish or several fish? So you say, oh, this fish, or you say these fish. That makes all the difference. Same thing with sheep. The plural of sheep is sheep. So do we have this sheep or do we have these sheep? It's not usual, but it happens. Trying to think about words in Spanish that might be problematic for foreign students. Oh, right, David. How are you doing with the TLDs? Oh, you can't hear?
Gabriel, please, I can barely hear you.
Oh, sorry. How are you doing with the whole TLD thing?
The tilde thing, you mean like the ends with
Yeah.
the inye, yeah, the inye, like the difference between suena and sueña?
Hmm.
Yeah, pretty well, pretty well. It's pretty easy. It seems like you just hold your tongue on the roof of your mouth a little bit longer for the in sound instead of just going up, touching it, and bouncing off. You kind of go up and yeah, you make more of a kind of a Russian kind of an accent. You know.
Yeah. Oh, good. That was another one that we didn't cover, I think. What else? What else are you having trouble with, my brethren?
So David is trying to learn Spanish.
Well, yeah, podemos
Yeah.
hablar en español.
No, I think I asking you if David want to learn Spanish or he already speaks Spanish.
David, well, I don't know. What would you say, David?
Estoy aprendiendo español. Yo puedo decir muchas cosas, pero no puedo entender perfectamente cuando tengo una llamada con alguien, especialmente cuando esta
They speak
persona,
fast.
ya sí, sí, o esto es una persona nativo en español y ellos usan muchas palabras muy coloquial, I guess, de esta ciudad. Como en Tijuana ellos tienen un idioma que es muy diferente que otros lugares. Sí. It's more like the word chaqueta in most places means something totally different. In Tijuana, you go there and say chaqueta, it means something totally different than jacket. So
Yes.
Oh,
You
and
say Tijuana. Tijuana is like juice in English. Tijuana.
Tijuana,
Uh-huh.
Tijuana,
Juice. Tijuana.
Tijuana.
Okay.
And what is that?
it's a city in Mexico, I think.
Yeah, it's city right along the frontera de los Estados Unidos. It's a border town.
So, actually, thanks, David. You just gave me a great example of what open vowels, rather the openness of the sound, means. If you remembered when David was speaking Spanish, in English we don't have vowels as open and as in Spanish. Actually, in English you have lots of words and situations in which I'm not going to go into the accent part, but you have the schwa. Are you familiar with the schwa phoneme?
No.
No, no,
Schwa
no.
phoneme, for instance,
I
when
kind
you say
of. Uh,
vegetable, vegetable, the vowel, you are saying that that's the schwa because it's a post tonic vowel, so the sound goes way closed. We say,
Mm.
for instance, in Spanish, we would say vegetal. All of the vowels are open, all of them. But in English, you could say you usually emphasize the accent more at the cost of the following vowel. That's where the schwa comes in. So you say vegetal or you say vegetable. But the first vowel was the strong one. The rest of them were just drowning afterwards. And that happens a lot, for instance, when you are speaking Spanish as an English native. You are used to emphasize accent at the cost of the other ones, whereas in Spanish you have that every vowel is as open as it can be. For instance, when you say, could you say, for instance, let's see, responsable?
Was that responsible?
Responsable.
Responsable.
See, the more open the vowels are, the more natural it sounds. And the easier it is
responsible.
for Spanish speakers to understand you. Not about lowering your voice, but opening your mouth a bit more. That will help you a lot when you're speaking Spanish, David, in terms of communicating. Because sometimes people think they don't understand an English native speaking Spanish because because they speak with a, let's say, low volume, but that's not true. It's usually because the phonemes in English are less open in terms of the sound they produce. Oh, right. Mohammed, hello. Sorry. Says similarities between Spanish, English, and Arabic makes me confused. Could you give me an example? I mean, Spanish has a lot of inheritance from the time the Ottoman Empire was, well, part of Spain. So there are several words in Spanish that come from Arabic. Mm, but when you say the similarities, what could you perhaps give us an example of said similarities that are causing you distress?
Okay, first of all, hello Joy and all the I hope you're all right. I'm a native Arabic speaker, and there is a lot of words that just the same in Spanish as in Arabic, like soccer, el soccer, or el pantalon, or the L. It's in Arabic in all words almost. In Arabic and Spanish and English have a lot of words that in common with the three languages. So when like perfecto, a lot of words that in the three languages just the same. So when I study my level in English, just upper intermediate or intermediate, and I still study English and I just started learning Spanish. I found a lot of words that similar, so I get confused between the words. I don't know if that Spanish or English. I know I just need to take some minutes to know exactly the difference between the word and the spelling too. Uh, it's just confusing. I take some time to to find out. It's just confusing.
Right. Yes, it's because as I as I was saying, Spain was under Arabic influence for it was a while. We're talking more than a century, kind of like I think it was more than 400 years. So there are a
1800
lot.
years. 1800 years.
See that? So you have a lot of words in Spanish that come from the Arabic. Actually, in Spanish, most of the words that begin with al come from the Arabic because
Yeah, right.
wrong the al is an article in Arabic like al mualim, the master, the
Yeah,
teacher,
the
things like that.
teacher. Yeah, yeah,
Right? Mm,
exactly.
so in Spanish you have a lot, a lot. For instance, in Spanish you have alacran that comes from the Arab. You have almohada comes from the Arabic. You have alfanjo, a lot, a lot of them. You said it with sugar. Um, I would say that that will help you a lot when learning Spanish, but it might be problematic sometimes when you're learning English because English does have some words that come from the Arabic, but English, as I said a while back, is kind of like a really weird mix of Nordic and German and French dialects and I would say grandfathers. Like for instance, you have Occitan. Wow, so many languages. My recommendation would be try to focus much more in the English bit right now because the Spanish one is going to be easier for you. That way, if you focus on the English first, you will, I would say, you will strengthen your English, and it will help you get less confused when you're learning Spanish.
It could be the same recommendation for because I like French, but I haven't started because I found it very difficult, and I am focusing on English first.
Yeah, as Grateful said, uh, Mohammed, try to focus first on the languages that are less close to your own. That way, when you dominate or when you master or when you feel more proficient with that language, it will help you get less confused because you are already familiar with it, because you don't have to remember the words as rather as difficultly as it initially would. That would be my recommendation, just like Grateful said. In our case, French and Spanish are really similar. So if you are learning like French and English at the same time, it's going to be problematic because you are going to mix them up a bit. That would be my advice.
Okay, thank you, Joyce. Thank you.
Let's see what says. Uh, right, grateful. Oh, right, the phonetic chart. Sorry, let me check. Let's see. I should have it here. Where is it? Oh, I think I don't have like. Oh, I'm gonna share my screen then. Can you see the phonetic chart right now?
Yes.
Good. So, grateful. What did you want to ask about the chart?
I can see it.
This,
the sounds. I wanna learn
okay, so this one is the,
the diagram. It is the you sharing.
yeah, the diagram, but
Uh
for
huh.
the consonants. Why? Because the consonants are the most important bit in English. The vowels are not really as problematic because if you're not pronouncing a vowel well, people will understand due to context, or it's really hard to mess up vowels. Whereas consonants, well, that's another story. We have several examples here. And you have the area of the mouth that is activated when you are pronouncing it. So we have the red are the lips, the green are the teeth, the blue, both blues are the palate, and this purple one is what's called the velum. So the velar sounds are up but way back, kind of like above your throat. Hmm? So, for instance, the K, try to place your fingers just below the maxilla. You say k, k, k. It's a bit up. Can you feel it? When you say K, that k is just right about up here. Hmm? Those are the velar sounds. In English, well, you see we have three. The K, which would be the silent, the G which would be the voiced, and the NG, which is a dreadful combination because the N is way up front and the G is way up back. Oh, sorry. So to do the ing verbs, you say ng. It's a bit problematic for some. So, any questions you have about this diagram? Grateful. Would you like to try the words above the letters? Let's see. Okay, let's begin then. How about from the from the front to the back? Can you read them for us, please?
A few of them because I can see it.
You can't see it. Okay, how about this? Is it better?
Okay. Spy,
Uh-huh.
baby,
Mm-hmm.
man,
Yep.
wood,
Mm-hmm.
very fall,
Uh-huh. Full, very. Mm-hmm.
fall, very fall, breathe, breathe. It's okay.
Close. It's
Mm,
breathe. Remember
breathe,
the difference between the voiced and the silent? Thought is the silent. So it's that sound, it does not vibrate, but the other one, it does. So it's thought and breathe.
breathe,
Mhm.
doubt,
Thought.
doubt.
Mhm. All right, next one.
Who? Me or another person?
Yep.
Okay, because it's
The T.
top, top, top,
Mhm. Mhm.
top. The uh, top, la just T, regular T, top, that, sad,
Mhm.
zebra,
Mhm.
is another way, maybe butter,
Mhm.
knob, light,
Mhm.
red,
Mhm.
should, Asia,
Asia.
Asia.
Mhm.
Oh, it's a sound C. Oh, it is a the sign, the Z.
Exactly.
I,
Very good.
I'm not linking the sign with the my
This one,
reading.
this one is kind of like when we say payaso.
See,
Asia. Hmm?
Asia. Okay.
Close. but try to vibrate it more. It's not Asia, but Asia.
With vibrant. Asia.
Hmm.
Asia.
Much better.
Asia.
J.
Okay.
Try to do the Y, just solo la letra J, like this.
Okay.
J.
G.
That one.
Asia.
Very
Asia.
good.
The next is yes.
Mm-hmm.
Cut.
Mm-hmm.
Go.
Mm-hmm.
Sink.
Sing. It's not a K.
Zinc.
It's a G. Try to do
What
this.
is okay? This sign, what sound is?
That sign is the NG.
NG?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
So it's N. Remember, I'm going to stop. All right, we'll go back to that one. Read the last
okay.
two.
Zin, happy.
Uh-huh.
Is two word. Ha, who?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, okay.
Very good.
Uh-oh.
So the last one
What
is
does this sign mean, the last one?
what you call a glottal stop.
Okay,
It
uh-oh,
is uh,
okay.
it's just that.
With
Uh-oh.
the throw, okay, I got it.
How does it work? It's the air is coming up, it's vibrating here. But that glottal stop, it's kind of like this. You stop the air and it flows again. For instance, that's I think Mohammed um, knows something about that. In Arabic, for instance, there are some words that you have like a little apostrophe when you represent them in the Roman alphabet. And that means, for instance, you have an A, an apostrophe, and an A. You say ah, ah. Hmm? It's not just ah, but ah, ah. You have to do a
Yes,
glottal stop there.
right. Uh, we have a lot of words that
In
doesn't have
is it
exact
the
translate
schwa?
in Latinian words.
Sorry,
Like
grateful. I'm sorry, grateful.
when you
Yeah, go
say
ahead, Mohammed. Yeah, go ahead,
when you
Mohammed. You
say
were saying.
when you say رأفت رأفت.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this you can't spell that or write it in English. You have to put apostrophe in the middle of the word or write like um, there's a lot of words you have letters that call alif. Alif. Alif doesn't have exact translate in English. It's equal to A. Like in A. Uh, like مثلا المعلم A المعلم. Okay, but when we say in Arabic uh, يأكل يأكل A in the middle of the word, we when we try to translate it to English, we put apostrophe. If we want to write it with Latinian letters, but the word is still in Arabic. Can you understand me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For instance, let me give you an example. There's an Egyptian goddess whose name is written like this. You see it? It's an A, an apostrophe,
Yes,
and an A. That's glottal stop. Say ma'at. You have to stop the sound. You don't say just one A,
yes.
or you don't say a long A. It's not ma'at, it's ma'at.
Yeah, the astrophy calls alif or hamza in Arabic. It's like A in English, but we have to stop when we spell it. Okay, alif, alif. We stop when we spell it. We can't
Alif.
just
I didn't know.
see it like a vowel.
Thanks, Mohammed. Uh, so did you guys understand the glottal stop? It's literally interrupting the sound and then saying it again. So that was it. Now, grateful. You were asking about the kind of like the funny N, right? The one from sing.
Yes, yes, the last
That's
one.
that's usually one. You will see it dropped in some dialects. but it's usually because of how difficult it tends to be, because you are combining two sounds that come from two very different parts of the mouth. The N is way up front and the G is way up back. So when you mix them, it's kind of like closing your whole mouth. Like when you say that sound, it's kind of like you are closing your whole mouth without doing actually anything with your lips. So it's, for instance, you say sing. It's kind of like the sound going all the way from the front to the back at the same time. So you say sing, skiing, bringing. Hmm?
Okay.
That's
Sing,
what that sounds mean.
sing,
Mhm. But
zing.
remember, when you say sing and you cut it, it's like NK, but that's not the sound. It's not sink, it's sing. Remember the G. The G is voiced. Can you do this for me? That one. So it's sing.
Sing.
Very good. That's the sound.
Okay. Thank you. Sing.
Felipe asks, is there value in learning conlang? What do you mean conlangs?
Constructed languages.
What do you? Oh, construct. Could you give me an example of that?
Esperanto.
Oh, oh, okay. Well, if I'm being honest with you, I would say it's just for fun. I mean, there's no practical reason unless you are part of a club or an association. Yeah, I mean, you can learn Esperanto, but you will only communicate with other Esperanto speakers. And well, that's, oh, right. It's because of the history of Esperanto. As you know, or as some of you know, Esperanto was designed at the during the early 20th century as a project to design a language that could become universal, like the language everyone would speak. So it was designed by a linguist to be really easy to, really easy to learn, really what to say, like maximizing communication while minimizing the work and the learning curve. What's the problem with Esperanto? Esperanto was really popular at the beginning of the 20th century because of its potential. Like it was designed to be the universal language. The problem was the French. Bloody French ruined it for everybody because the person that designed Esperanto presented it to the League of Nations, which was the equivalent of the United Nations, but that, as you know, the United Nations came after the World War. Before that, it was the League of Nations. So this guy presented Esperanto to the League of Nations, but the president of the, or the chairman of the League of Nations at the time was French. And he thought that French should be the universal language. So he did everything in his power to boycott Esperanto. And he succeeded. That's the reason. Now, Latin, should we study it? Well, again, for fun. That's the thing about dead languages. You can study them, but uh, in terms of potential, how many people can you speak Latin with? Plus, dead languages don't account for for modern words, neologisms, as we would call them. Like, for instance, yeah, but I mean, how do you say computador or computer in Latin? How do
I
you say
didn't.
internet? How do you say marketing? Things like that. That's the problem with dead languages. You don't have, for instance, aerospatial engineering in Esperanto or in in Latin because they didn't exist back then.
It's
And
actually coming back
yeah,
though. Well,
go ahead.
Latin's coming back. There's a radio station in Finland, and they broadcast like 24/7 in Latin. And there's even people that are learning the language across the globe. And there's people that go up to like the Vatican and they speak nothing but Latin to you know to the people around the Vatican to see if they can understand it. And about half the time they can. But yeah, Latin's starting to make a huge comeback.
I mean,
So
I am learning Latin, but I'm doing it for fun.
Julia is Pater, Matilda is Mater. Yeah, I kind of know the basics, but I never got
No,
past
I
it.
know because Latin is great. I mean, it was the official language of an empire. It has so much history, and there's a lot of history written in Latin. So, Latin would be worth it because you would have access to a lot of history that most people don't. Most people can't read, for instance, many of the most important medieval um, masterworks, I would say. Lingua Latina per se illustrata. No, I haven't seen it. Oh, but also you have to make a very important difference. Are you going to learn classical Latin or are you going to learn ecclesiastical Latin? Or are you going to learn dog Latin? That's the other question. For example, um, if you were going, how to say this, there are differences. If you go with uh, Julius Gaius Caesar, that's classical Latin. Whereas if you go to ecclesiastical or medieval Latin, you would say Julius Gaius Caesar, things like that. Things like sky, you have caelum and you have cellum. So depends on which one do you want to speak, the one from the Romans or the one from the Middle Ages. For instance, the V is a recent addition. The Romans didn't have that. For instance, that famous saying of Caesar, the one that says "Veni we Veni vidi wicit winkit." That was the original phony, but it's in the Middle Ages one. It's "Veni vidi vincit." So there is a difference. So which one do you want to learn? All right. So Sanskrit. I mean, Sanskrit is big in India, Tibet, Nepal, Bangladesh, I think, as well. So if you plan on going and living, working in Southeast Asia, but not like the island part or Malaysia, but the Indostan region, yeah, I mean, big time. Sanskrit, Hindi, I think just same area. Oh, I'll be sure to check that channel out, David. Thanks. Anyway, people, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. I have to leave you now, but it was great sharing with you and keep going at it. I know you're doing great. Also, Chris, David, uh, keep doing your best in Spanish. I know you will get where you want to be.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for the
Nice
presentation
meeting
too.
you. Oh no,
Thank
thank you for your
you.
time. Bye.
Bye, Joy.
Take
Oh,
care.
also remember,
Hope to see you
if
soon.
if how to say that, if a lazy bum like me could do it, I'm positive you guys can as well. Bye.
All right. Bye, Joy. See you next time. Thanks.
Thanks for that.
That was entertaining. I like
It was interesting.
it.
All
So,
right,
Chris,
yeah.
how's your Spanish coming along?
Sorry.
I said, how is your Spanish coming along?
No, all right.
No.
So,
But
guys,
okay.
I have to share something which I found yesterday, which I think it is amazing. So there is a piece of software called Capture to Text, and you can take a screenshot of a little bit of the screen, and you can translate it. So
Ah.
so you can like get images to be translated. So the I was reading about it because I was kind of writing it, and then somebody mentioned it in the forums. And if you guys are learning a language, I think this software can really be helpful.
Oh, nice. I'm
Yeah.
glad you
So
came online, Felipe. I was going to ask you about that program you were writing last week. You were writing something in Python. Remember the Tetris game that we were playing?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Is there any way I can get a copy of that?
Oh yeah, sure. I'll send it. I forgot to send it. So, but you know what? Like, ignore that program. This is the better one. The so what it does is that you go to a website where you don't understand anything. You press Windows Q, so it's like this little box here, and you can like you can tell it what key you want to do for capturing like a little screenshot. So I set it to Windows Q because that's the default. You remap Windows R, so that's stupid. So I'm just playing around with Russian. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna try Russian. So what it does is that you go to a website and you search like a Russian, I don't know, like Russian meme. Let's search anything here. Yeah. So maybe is there a meme in Russian? Oh man. Okay. So like let's go to translate. Yes. Let's go write a word, and then you get another. Oh my god. Something is wrong with my computer. Sorry guys. I'll just don't know what it is. Anyway, yeah, but like if there is some text on the screen that you can see, right? So like maybe any text on the screen, then when you
Oh, you're muted or something happened. All right, guys. Just a small thing. Would anyone like to practice Spanish, and we can create another room where we will be practicing Spanish? If you agree, please raise your hand.
Hi, sorry, my computer crashed. Um, yeah.
Keep-
Anyway, just to finish the idea, you can this software you can take a little screenshot and auto translate. So it's really like it's amazing, and I strongly suggest whatever language you're learning, I think you should install it. Like it's amazing.
Let me see. So, Philip, have you? Let's create that room. It. All right. Fabio to Spanish and Philip. All right. Who else? Oh, grateful. All right. You want to practice Spanish or English? I mean, but I mean English. We already are practicing here, so I don't. But grateful. English. All right. Then you can stay here, and the guys can help you. Right? Ah, okay. So I'm going to take Fabio and Philip, and I don't know if Chris wants to learn Spanish. Okay. No, just kidding.
I'm good being here. I want to practice my English.
Okay. Or David, would you like to come with us?
Maybe. Can I pass co-host to you, Chris?
I'm already a host.
All
We
right,
have
cool.
a few people
I'll
who have.
jump out.
Great.
Yeah, I'll go over there with you, Luis. That's fine.
Okay, okay. So how do I put you? Oh yeah, now I see you. Who else? Who else? Who else? Ah, ¿quién dijo yo? Ah, okay, I will go to the other room and practice with you guys. All right. So see you later. And anyone who wants to join us, then you can just tell Raymond. Don't you want to? I will just invite Raymond just for fun.
Yeah, take him. Take him. I don't think he's actually there.
Raymond. Ah, all right. He will resuscitate later. Yes. Okay. So see you guys.
All right. See you later. So I know there's a lot of people here who entered during the presentation. Um, and if you guys want to chat a little bit in English, we can introduce ourselves and share where you're from. Who are you? Gio, where are you? Ah,
At Nicopan, the place, the physical place.
nice.
So if you want to, I can show you around.
Sure. Ika,
So
you're at
crowded.
Nicopan.
You won't
What
believe it.
floor are you on right now?
You don't believe it.
Wow, looks busy. But it's inside and outside and different levels as well.
What do you
Yeah.
say?
I said it's inside and outside and different levels. Like you have different
No,
floors. Or,
it's just the second level.
okay.
But there are like 30, 30, 40 people, I guess.
Yeah. Crazy.
So okay, I'm gonna stop the recording.